Hello everyone and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in this Salesforce Flow series, today we are going to learn about how we can call the Autolaunched Flow from the schedule trigger flow in Salesforce. So in the Autolaunched Flow video, we have seen the Autolaunched Flow doesn't execute automatically. We need to call the Autolaunched Flow by the Salesforce Apex or the triggers or the REST APIs, and also we have the option we can call Autolaunched Flow by the other flow in Salesforce. So here we will understand how we can create the Autolaunched Flow and the schedule trigger flow so that we can call it using the schedule trigger flow in Salesforce. So for that we will take a scenario, and using that scenario we will create the flow, and after that I will show you how the Autolaunched Flow will works using the schedule trigger flow in Salesforce. For that, watch the video till end and don't miss any step. And if you are new to our channel, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon, so whenever we post a new video, you will get an update. Now before moving ahead, here is very big announcement for the Salesforce geekers. We recently launched a Salesforce admin training course. In that, we explain every concept in a simple and easy to understand way, so you can learn step by step with the confidence. So this course is for beginner to the advanced level. In that we have covered 10 modules. You will get lifetime access. So here you can see, here we have covered 10 modules: introduction to Salesforce, Salesforce navigation and setup. After that, Salesforce user management. Then we also have covered Salesforce apps, object and tabs. After that, the Salesforce fields and formulas, UI customization in Salesforce. After that, Salesforce reports and dashboards, Salesforce data management and Salesforce flows. So in this course, we have covered everything from beginner to the advanced level. So if you are serious about launching your Salesforce career, check out the course now. We have provided the link in the description box. You can go through it. Now let's jump to the topic. Now let's understand this scenario, and using that scenario we will create the Autolaunched Flow and the schedule trigger flow in Salesforce. Now in this use case, we want to automatically assign a follow-up task to every new lead and schedule the Autolaunched Flow to assign tasks daily as a specific time. So you might be thinking you can automate this process using record trigger flow also. But what is the problem in record trigger flow? Whenever we create the new lead, automatically at that time the task will get assigned to the lead owner. So using this Autolaunched Flow, what we want to do, after creating the leads in all day, then in the next day the task should get assigned to the lead owners. And how we can achieve that? By calling the Autolaunched Flow using schedule trigger flow. Now without any delay, let's jump to the Salesforce org. There I will show you how we can create this use case. So first we will create the Autolaunched Flow where we can handle the creation of task for the leads. For that, in the quick find box, search for the flows to navigate the flow builder. Here you can see under the process automation we have flows. Click on it. Now create the new flow. For that we have new flow button. Select the start from scratch and then click on next. Now here we need to select Autolaunched Flow with no trigger. Select this and click on create. Now what is the purpose of this Autolaunched Flow? So this flow will handle the task creation for the leads which we will get as an input by the schedule trigger flow. That means whenever the new lead will get create, and after that the schedule trigger flow will execute on a particular time, and then it will pass the lead ID to the Autolaunched Flow, and after that the Autolaunched Flow will assign the task to the lead owner. So to get the record ID from the schedule trigger flow, we need to create new resource. So here I am clicking on toggle toolbox, then click on new resource. In the resource type, we need to select variable. In the API name, so here I am providing record ID. Make sure whenever we want to get any record ID from the other source, we need to enter their API name exactly like this. If you mistake an API name, the ID will not get saved. So here in the data type, we need to select record. Then here we need to allow multiple values, because when the schedule trigger flow will get execute, at that time number of lead will be get created. So here I am clicking on allow multiple values, and then in the object here we need to select leads. So here I am selecting lead and then click on available for input and then click on done. So here we created record collection variable with record ID as API name. Now first we need to add loop element to loop through the new leads. Which new leads? Where we get in the record ID variable. So for that, here I am clicking on add element, then search for the loop, click on it, enter the label. So here I am providing loop over leads. API name will be automatically populated. Then here you can see select collection variable. So here we need to select the collection variable, which is record ID. As you click on it, here you can see in the record collection we have record ID, select it and then simply close this. Now in the loop element we have leads that created last day. How last day? I will explain in the schedule trigger flow. But you have to understand this Autolaunched flow is only for the leads that created in the last day, and this flow will assign tasks to the leads owners that we have in the loop element. So here under the loop element, here I am adding the create records. Now for which object we want to create records? We want to create record for the task object. So in the label here I am providing create task for leads. And then as you click on API name, it will be automatically populated. Now here you can see how to set record field values. As you click on it, here we need to select manually. And now here we need to create a record of this object. Here we need to add task. Select the task, scroll down and now set values for the task. As you click on this field, you will see all the fields from the task object. So here I am searching for the subject. So here I am providing the hard-coded subject, which is follow up on newly created leads. Now we need to add another field, which is due date. As you click on it, search for the due date. Here you can see due date only. Now here I will provide the dynamic value. For that what we can do, as you click on it, here we have new resource. In the resource type, select the formula, enter the API name. So here I am providing due date. In the data type, select the date and then in the formula, so here I am providing today plus 15, 10. So this formula will return the due date after 10 days when the lead get created. So click on check syntax, it's valid and then click on done. Now add another field, which is owner ID. So here I am searching. Here you can see instead of owner ID, here we have assigned to ID. Owner ID and assigned to ID is the same fields. So here I am selecting assign to ID and in the value here we need to select and here we need to provide the lead owner. For that here you can see in the loop element we have all leads and as you click on this you will see all the fields from the lead object. So here I am selecting owner ID. So here again I am adding the field which is what ID. And what ID is nothing but related to ID. That means the task we are going to create, for which object we want to relate this task. So we want to create task for the lead object. So here I am selecting related to ID and then in the value we need to select current item from the loop and then ID. Scroll down and here you can see here we have lead ID. Now again I am going to add another field which is priority. So these are all fields from the task object. Priority. Now as you click on this value field, you will see pick list values, which is the values of priority field. So here I am selecting normal as a priority and then simply close this. Now we have successfully created the Autolaunched flow to assign the task for newly created leads. So here I am clicking on save. Now here I am providing the label create task for new leads. API name will be automatically populated and then click on save. Now we will create the schedule trigger flow to call this Autolaunched flow. For that navigate back. Click on new flow. Start from scratch and then click on next. Now here we need to select schedule trigger flow and then click on create. Now firstly we need to enter start date, start time and frequency. So these things we already have seen in the schedule trigger flow. So quickly I explain. In the start date, here I am selecting today's date because from today onwards this flow will get start to execute. Then we need to select start time. Now here I am providing 10 a.m. as a start time. So here I am selecting 10 a.m. so that this flow will execute on 10 a.m. and they call the Autolaunched flow. So in the frequency, here I have selected daily because this flow should get execute every day. And now simply close this. After that we need to fetch leads record which created on last day. So here I am clicking on get record. Provide the label. So here I am providing get leads records. API name will be automatically populate. Get record of this object. Here we need to select lead. Scroll down and here we need to add filter lead records because we only want the records which created in the last day. So for that what we can do, as you click on the field, you will see all the fields from the lead object. Here I am searching for the created date. Here you can see here we have created date field. As you click on it, and then in the operator we need to select equals and then in the value. So here I am providing dynamic value. For that click on new resource. In the resource type select the formula. Provide the API name. So here I am providing get yesterday's leads. Data type will be date. Now to get the yesterday's record, what we can do? So here I am providing today minus 1. That means current date minus 1. So we will get the yesterday's date. Check the syntax. It's valid and then click on done. Then scroll down and how many records to store? Here we need to select all records. Because whatever the leads created on yesterday, for all those lead owner, we need to create task. Now simply close this. Now we need to call Autolaunched flow that we created. And to call the Autolaunched flow, what we need to add? So here we need to add the subflow. Here you can see under the interaction we have subflow. Click on it. Now here you can search for the Autolaunched flow that you created. So here we created create task for new leads. So here I am selecting this one. Now provide the label. So here I am providing call Autolaunched flow. Now here you can see we have set input values. This variable we created in the Autolaunched flow. Now as I enable this, here we need to provide the leads that we get in this schedule trigger flow. Here you can see in this get record element we fetch all the leads which created on yesterday. So as you click on this, here you can see leads from get leads record. So here I am providing this and then simply close this one. Now we are ready to save this flow. For that click on save. Provide the label. So here I am providing schedule task for leads. API name will be automatically populate and then click on save. So here we got error or warning. So it's not error, here we have warning. Call Autolaunched flow subflow. That means in this subflow we have some warning. The reference flow create task for new leads has no active version. Ensure it has an active version before you activate the flow schedule task for leads. So here before activating this we need to activate the Autolaunched flow that we created. So here we created the create task for new lead. This one was the Autolaunched flow that we created. We need to activate this one. It gets successfully activated. Again open the schedule trigger flow that we created. Schedule task for leads. Now here you can see here we don't have any error or warning. Now let's try to debug this flow. For that click on debug and then click on run. The flow is successfully completed. That means this flow is debugged successfully. Now let's Now let's expand this get records. Now here you can see find all leads record where the created date equals to 27th of January. As I open the date, here you can see the current date is 28th of January, and then here you can see the 27th of January. That means whatever the number of leads created on the yesterday, on the next day at 10 a.m. this flow will get executed. And then what will happen? This flow will get all the leads record which created on the yesterday, and then this will call the Autolaunched Flow to assign the task to all the leads which created on yesterday. And here you can see the result failed to find records because I didn't create any lead record on 27th of January. So in this way we can create the Autolaunched Flow to assign a task to the lead owners which records get created on one day before. And to call the Autolaunched Flow, we created the schedule trigger flow to execute the Autolaunched Flow on particular time frequency. Now your task is you need to use different object and different action element. That means instead of the assigning task, you can send an email using the Autolaunched Flow. I hope whatever I explained you understood that. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so whenever we post a new video, you will get an update. Thank you.